Hello and welcome back to Let's Try. We're trying Dawnmaker again. When I first tried it, it was a Next Fest demo, and I actually recorded another video post-launch. But just to be clear, the dev handed me a key for this. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, dev. I wanted to do this, do basically a second take of this because neither my first nor my second impression were accurate as for the actual experience of Dawnmaker. So we're gonna go into this. I'm gonna play one session of this, or one playthrough, one game, if you want to call it. We're gonna do one city. If you're not familiar with this game, it is a deck building-ish, city building-ish. It's kind of a worker placement game. There's a lot of influences, and I think that they all kind of blend into something pretty original, and I really like it for that. And just to be clear, though maybe my first and second impressions, and no, you don't get to see my second impressions because I'm not going to upload them, we're not accurate. Nothing has really changed. In terms of like how I feel about the quality of the game, I really like this game. I think this is like still one of my highlights for Steam Next Fest this year. And for the price, like this game's like $10, what, Canadian, or $12 Canadian. It's really affordable. It's actually quite a very good experience. So what does this game look like? Well, first of all, it is roguelite-ish. I keep having to add ish on the end of everything because genres don't mean anything to me anymore, and I don't really care to put a nail in anything because I don't want to have an argument in the comments about what is and what is not a roguelike. But this game has kind of a permanent defeat or failure point if you fail to establish a city too many times. There is replayability in that you gain permanent or meta progressive items or materials, but they are run exclusive, if that makes sense. So I'll go through which cards and what upgrades I have as I play the game. We are establishing our town. Our town is struggling against the smog that is represented in our food intake and basically usage. You can see under consumption there is a smog cost. Right now it is at 0. That cost will go up exponentially if I don't keep upgrading our city, otherwise known as the Aero Station. So we have food costs. If we do not meet food costs, then we will fail and the city will not establish. But if we continue to meet food costs, then we will have other goals. We have basically 3 kinds of currency. We have aquarium, we have research, and we have materials. We use materials to build cities or parts of the city. We use research for various things. We can re-roll what towns or city chunks that we can add on. Or we can also use them as a currency for other things like activating buildings. We'll get into that in a bit. This here, discovery, is a 0 cost action. We get 3 actions per turn. And this is something I had to upgrade or like buy. And that's the roguelike-ish part. So let's use that. It's free. You do have kind of carryover for your resources, but your carryover amount is limited, if that makes sense. You have to upgrade it over time. So right now I can only hold 1 research. That means that if I don't spend this research, then I will get to keep it however, I only have room for 1 material and I have 2 material. So right now, if I end my turn, I will lose 1 material, if that makes sense. We have new buildings that we can add to our quote unquote deck. We kind of have 2 decks in a way, and I'll kind of talk about that. I do like the festival hall a lot, but I think that the atomium is probably the way to go. It's a little bit more sustainable over time, and it gives us research over time. I like things that give us like production because they kind of pay their way in a little bit. The workshop is also very good, and there's an example of a building that uses research to an end. We'll talk about aquarium and why it's important in a second. I get to pick 2 buildings at the beginning here. I do really like the distillery. I kind of like all the buildings in this game. I think one of the highlights of this game is that there really are no bad buildings. There are no bad cards, and that makes choices as the player interesting. The granary is quite good as well. So let's take the granary. I haven't taken that in a while. When you take a new building, you do get a bunch of those buildings kind of shuffled into our deck. This is our current deck right now. It'll show you also when we upgrade our Asterium, what is it called? I don't know. Aero Station. We will get more cards as well. Cards, buildings. There's a lot of things going on in this game. Nomenclature is getting blended together. So basically, when I end my turn, I will get a selection of buildings from this roster. I'm not going to talk about all of these buildings. We'll just kind of go through them as I build them. We can also, as I say, use research to re-roll them. So that's a vague explanation of how this game works, but we're going to kind of go through what playing this game actually looks like, and the long term, the dreaded meta progression. I will say that I don't mind the meta progression in this game because it's not really meta progression. It is still kind of run based, but there is basically one big run overarching all of your little runs. When you establish a city, that's a little run or like one session, and then you have materials and you can like upgrades and cards you can buy that'll affect future runs. But if we ever like fail the whole overarching thing, then you have to start from scratch. So let's I'm gonna get some buildings. I do really like the small fields are great. Let's build some small fields. That's gonna give us more production. You might have noticed our costs of lumen oil. I just call it food because it looks like food. Went from -1 to 0, so we're now meeting our cost demands. Exploration is quite good as well. Gives us the exploration card. It's good for early game, not so good for late game. And I guess we can't get enough to buy the hermitage. We could re-roll. Let's re-roll. Yeah, that was a good call because now we're gonna get another small field, or we could get a granary, which I also quite like. But I think the small field is more sustainable, and I'll talk about why I believe that in the future. Let's get that research back. We could have gotten the materials instead, but I like this more. Collective effort is another card I bought. So this is not something you start with. It's something that you upgrade your quote-unquote deck with. I see the buildings as a deck as well, so you know, pardon my nomenclature, it's not accurate really. Whenever you gain a card, +2 food. Sure, I like that. I like to have many different ways of gaining food over time. Now the problem here is that we don't really have enough. We have enough to build these, and we just built the granary, so we'll get a material, and then we'll get an exploration outpost, and that'll gain us a card, and that'll give us 2 food, as you saw right there. You can see we were at +1 food per turn. Now we're at 0 because that smog is getting kind of worse and worse. Consumption is increasing over time. So this here tax collection, I don't know if you noticed, is +1 material per aero station level. Our goal is to level max the aero station. That depends on like how difficult the this scenario is. It could be 3. When you first start the game, it's probably you want to get to aero station level 3 and then like level up it again. I've also seen 4. It can even go as high as 5. I'm sure it can go like even higher than that, but I haven't really seen that just yet. So we're going to choose a building. Whenever you build a building adjacent to this 1+1 material. I like this, but I like the festival hall more. You don't have to take a building, by the way, but unlike other deck building games, I actually kind of like taking buildings. I don't think that there's necessarily a huge benefit to not taking buildings unless you are going for a synergy and it would like muddy the waters a little bit, but I don't think it matters as much in this game. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Okay, I kind of wanted to re-roll. I'm just trying to make use of the research and try and get some more stuff. We have maximum 3 materials right now. So we don't have enough for the hermitage, unfortunately. We could try and re-roll again. Yeah, I mean, the best I'm going to do here is whenever you build a building adjacent to this 1+2, gives us more storage, which is nice. I am not going to take that. There are ways to destroy buildings, and actually it's a very viable strategy. but I'm not going to do that just now. Okay, whenever you gain a card +2, I like that. Let's go for that. This is probably, you know, like I'm not playing necessarily super optimally here, but that's okay. You can play the long game. And I am playing the long game right now. I like to build up my survival first and then work on my actual, like, you know, goals second. Oh, we got a lot of stuff here, but unfortunately we are running out of room. That's one of the other things upgrading the aero station does for us. So I mean, it kind of sucks, but we're going to use this Faraday to get one aquarium. Aquarium is a very valuable resource, and it's hard to obtain, and it basically is tied to the goal of establishing your city. And you can see now we can spend one to activate our city. This is going to raise the cost of consumption. You can see that there is a consumption tied to your aero station level. But it's something you want to do because, like I said, that smog consumption level is going to increase exponentially. But I still have one space left. I'd kind of like to make use of it. If I use this, I'll have 3 resources. Still not really enough. And we also exceed our materials. So, all right, let's just upgrade then. That, you know, gives us a bit more options. Because right now we can build a small field. You might have wondered, why didn't I build a small field right over there? That would have been perfectly acceptable. Well, it's because I understand, you know, some of the more advanced building strategies for this game. There are some buildings that benefit from other buildings being adjacent to that. So for the small fields, I know that there's a building that I get down the line. In fact, I can probably point it out right now. +1 and then +1 of food for each 2 adjacent fields. This is production, mind you. So the more fields it's adjacent to, the more you are going to benefit from that. And I like the automated field a lot. So I like to kind of build the small fields kind of like their flower petals and then plunk that building down right in the center. All right, so we're just going to carry on here. Now our tax collection is actually seeing us 2 materials per. We get really close here to having 6 materials, but not close enough, unfortunately. Still, 5 is pretty good. We could plunk down Festival Hall right here next to the aero station, since I've made this mistake a lot with the Festival Hall. Notice it says per adjacent wonder. So basically you activate it and it costs you to activate it, costs 2 materials, 2 research, 5 food, but then you get +1 aquarium per adjacent wonder. So there's a flat cost, but a expanding reward for placing this optimally. It's a very, very good building, and I like it a lot. It's not very good right now, but there is 1 open space next to the aero station. So even though there's only 2 open spaces next to that space, 3 wonders is pretty good. That cost is actually highly worth 3 aquariums. So I'm going to go ahead and try and build that. I'm not going to be using that for quite a long time, though. We could try and build something else, and we do still have research to burn, so why don't we do that? You might notice this ruin over here. I'm going to get to that in a second. Not really seeing anything I want to build here, so we're going to go ahead and get that aquarium. Important to work towards our, you know, actual goals. So this is activation, an activation building, -4 research for +1 aquarium, +1 action, and draw 2 cards. This is a very, very good building if you can make it work, but you have to have quite a lot of research production. Which, you know, we can take it, it kind of muddies our waters a little bit, but, you know, we do have some research. I have built 4 research, so that works. So, okay, I would like to build this large field. That means I would like to put it down here. You know, this shipwreck, we can use, we can spend 1 action point to basically get rid of it. Sometimes it'll give you a choice of rewards. This time it gave me 7 materials to work with, which is quite a high reward, I have to say. So I'm going to plunk down this large field right there. And actually, what I'd like to do is see if I can... Oh, that sucks. We don't have any research right now. I need some research. I could have tried to cycle through our buildings a little bit. Still, 4 materials isn't bad. 5 materials isn't bad. So why don't we use 1 research, and then we'll get 1 material, and maybe we can cycle through to something we need. Another large field. Unfortunately, I don't like the placement for it, so it's not really great for me. We could build something, and then we'll gain something from our granaries. So like these caravans will gain us investment cards, which are quite good. Those are actually pretty good mid to late game. So I'll go ahead and plunk that down there. And that also gives us more storage. That gave us some more food. Everything's working out pretty well. Kind of sucks we went from +2 food down to 0 food there, but it is what it is. We could get another granary here. I do like the granaries. Another festival hall will not really serve us unless we get another wonder, which is possible. Ooh, breakage. I really like breakage. Breakage allows us to destroy buildings to make space for new buildings. And the reason that's very viable is because a lot of these buildings give you their best benefit by building them. So for example, this exploration outpost has build, you gain an exploration card. The really good reward here is getting that exploration card. The storage is also good, but many buildings give us that storage anyway, so we don't really necessarily need this building specifically for the storage. So we take cards that let us destroy buildings so that we can get the exploration card and then destroy it, and we get most of the reward. I do think I want to build this granary. I'll go ahead and build that. We have 3 actions. We'll have 4 materials at most. Yeah, we'll take all the materials, and we'll re-roll these. So this is there we go. Build gives us a create space card. That'll also give us more food. In fact, we're gonna get 4 food from that now since we have 6 food since we have 3 granaries. Building that atomium would have been good. Hey, here's a cool thing we can do. We can lock these down, and that way they won't re-roll. We actually still get another building because we are 1 short of the max here. The market is generally 4 buildings large, and so we still get to see a new building pop up, but we also get to keep these in case we wanted to keep build one of them and didn't have a chance. So let's I actually think this is worth. Did I? No, I didn't critically fail there. I thought I did, but I didn't. We're not going to use the Faraday. We're instead going to build the atomium, since that is also worth a clarium. And we're going to place it down next to the festival hall so that when we do eventually use the festival hall, and that's coming up pretty soon, we'll actually get 2 aquarium for activation instead of just the 1. And if we could possibly build this peaceful haven next to the festival hall, that would be ideal. And this looks like a pretty good setup for it. We can get 4, and we can store 5. Let's choose a building. Night shift card. I don't really like the night shift card. It's a 0 cost, but it is plus or -1 food per arrow station card for only 1 action point. There's other things that give us action points. I actually much prefer the observatory. I think it's a much better card. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock these down because I think I can make Peaceful Haven happen. So I'm gonna use this and this and this. I think that is the best way I could have done that. If there's a better, more optimal way to play those cards, you can let me know, but I also am meeting my storage cap right now, so I think that that's good enough. And we'll have enough to, yeah, we'll definitely have enough to play the investment. And that'll let us build the Peaceful Haven. That's going to give us 3 aquarium. We're actually exceeding our cap right now, so we may as well upgrade the aero station. So generally, like, you know, your costs for smog in this game are going to accelerate. They accelerate much faster than the cost or the consumption rate of the aero station level. However, you do kind of want to slow your roll a little bit, because if you like really try and like speed run upgrading the aero station, your costs are still going to go up. They're going to go up faster than the smog consumption level is going to go up. So you kind of have to like build optimally in such a way that you're like filling out the space, you're working on survival, and you're also working towards your goals. I can't really stress this enough. I really like this game. It might actually become one of my favorite like board game adjacent kind of games. Like it's just it exactly hits the balance perfectly. I think it's got enough things going on. It doesn't have too many things going on. It actually even does the kind of overarching meta progression very well. I really like this game. So if you like what you're seeing here, I promise you will probably enjoy this experience. I can't promise anything. You might not enjoy it, but you know, like I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, so in this situation, since we don't really have much else we can do, we're already exceeding our research cap, so those are going to go to waste, unfortunately. If we had more material, we could like activate the festival hall, but we don't. So instead, what I'm going to do is activate one of these shipwrecks, probably this one over here, and that is actually going to be ideal. That even gave us food. That's amazing. So our goal right now, activation. Okay, so we have to get to level 4 aero station. That means we have one more upgrade ahead of us, and the win condition requires us to repair all of the lighthouses. This is a lighthouse right here. They differ slightly from the other ruins. There's other ruin types that'll give us, like, you know, the reward choices I was talking about. So we need to upgrade the aero station one more time, repair all of the lighthouses, and then repair it basically upgrade one last time, but we won't see the actual benefits of that. It's just the win condition. 16 Eclarium, by the way. That's a high bar. The highest cost of Eclarium I've ever seen. You can really optimize things, by the way. I've gotten as much as like 100 lumen oil or food in a run because I just optimize my survival to that level. Also, I mean, you know, things were easier back then. I kind of don't want to destroy these caravans, these buildings, because they are giving us some storage, and right now we're kind of bottlenecked by our storage. I don't think there's anything. I guess maybe I'd destroy the breakage, which is really ironic. This is a 0 cost card, so I may as well. Tell you what, if we do that, we should build something else, like an exploration center. I do notice there's a delay when you build, when you use that card. There's a slight delay. Celebrations card are very, very good. They do cost 3 action points though. Remove level 2 or lower buildings from the market. I don't think I want to do that. I do like the discovery card, and I am trying to kind of work towards research. I'm using that for activation, so I think that that's pretty valid. Let's re-roll these. Yeah, perfect. Let's get some observatories. I don't think that there's really anything else here I super care about, so an observatory is going to be just the ticket, and then we can use the rest of our... Well, actually, we have 2 action points left. I could just get materials, but honestly, at this point, like, you want to be trying to get rid of these loot the surroundings. They're highly a waste of action points. I'm just gonna go ahead and get some rewards for destroying these shipwrecks. I think that's pretty valid. User discovery. We can now start looking at using our festival hall. Super valid. In fact, I think that is even right away a good use of our action points. This is 1 action point and 2 Eclarium to repair the lighthouse, but then it's well, this is going to sound like a bad thing. Production is 1 cost of food, so once we've repaired this, it's actually going to cost us food in the long term. But then whenever you play a card costing 2 action points or more, I get 1 material, so it gives us a small benefit. Sure, let's do that, and then we can even make use of that right away. Oh, look, it also gives us some more tiles. So that'll give us 5 materials, and we can start building. Oh, there we go. There's our automated field, and it's going to give us +1 food for each 2 adjacent fields. So it's right away going to have 3 production, and that'll meet our demands pretty wonderfully. I'll get this cabinet of curiosities. Not the greatest, but it's a 0 cost action space, so I quite like it, and it's also going to give us more food. Remember, getting cards right now is highly beneficial. I I don't know if the fair day is really worth it to us anymore. I want to make sure if I can at all times play this festival hall, because 3 aquarium per turn is kind of wild. So I'm going to play this for the research. Then I'm going to play this for the materials so that I can play the festival hall. Unfortunately, I can't build anything else. We could try and build a breakage on the next turn. +1 aquarium, then gain a benefits of serenity card. I do like the benefits of a serenity card. But maybe we want to be going hard on like 2 action space or 2 action cards. I don't know. Kind of want to lock these down. And since we are going pretty hard on research, I can re-roll if I really feel like it. When you activate an adjacent building, +2 food. I know it's luminoil, okay? I know it's luminoil. Gain a celebrations card. This is +1 aquarium per wonder in your city. That's pretty good, actually. And that's also another wonder. Remember, the activating buildings doesn't cost action points. Usually, some of them do, but very rarely. So if we can get that, that'll give us... the lighthouse is also a wonder, so that'll actually give us like 5 aquarium for playing that card. That's really good. All right, I'm starting to feel pretty good about this run. Look at all the research, actually. So we'll definitely activate this. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. We don't have any materials, unfortunately. Let's explore this ruin, and this will give us a choice. This is our first choice for the run. During your next 3 turns, production 3 research is quite good. The mine is also not bad. Whoa, what is this? When you discard this card, -3 food. So this is a production card. It gives us production +2 materials per turn. But then we gain this card that we have to use, or else we... It's actually not bad. That's not terrible. Kind of want the science, though. Let's get the science, and we're going to go hard on science. I'll play that for the material. Okay, so we definitely want to get this conservatoire. Conservatoire? I don't know if did I grab that one card that was like whenever you activate, etc., etc.? I know it was a agricultural card. Doesn't look like I took it. Okay, well, that's a shame, but that also frees me up to not have to care about placement too much when it comes to the conservatoire. All right, let's get this investment, and we're gonna plunk this guy down somewhere. I'd still like to try and place it somewhere nice, but I guess I'll place it here. Choose a new building isn't bad, and we have cards that get rid of these buildings if it starts to become a problem later. So I'll go ahead and plunk it down. We get to choose a new building. Another activation card. Build +9 aquarium, then gain a benefits of serenity card. It's quite good. Oh my god, production 1 aquarium per turn. That's insane. 21 materials to build anything is kind of a lot. So but hey, we finally have something we can do with all of this research, is we can get more cards and more action points per turn. We can now also destroy this architect's office. We don't need that. Have I already used this festival hall? I don't think I have. Let's play this investment. And now we can play the festival hall. And that even brings us down to cap. We are burning through quite a lot of food, though. Oh shoot, we are actually... I've run past the finishing line here. I gotta upgrade our aero station. Otherwise, we're gonna be wasting like 3 aquarium. No good. That brings our costs up to -8 per turn. Okay, we gotta do something about that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna build this exploration center, and that's gonna give us a little bit of food just to kind of close the gap a little bit. Every time you gain research from a card, +1 material. This is amazing, actually. that plays very heavily into our synergy. I'm not feeling good about our food cost right now. I'm just gonna say that right now. I might not be able to play Festival Hall too much. So let's play, use the Conservatoire. I actually think what I'd like to do, every time you gain research from a card +1, I'd really like to get this. I think the best play is actually to use the collective effort to get 3 materials instead of... Oh, we have more actions actually. I kind of, if I could build both of these machine theaters, that would be amazing. Like really, it would like possibly save the run. Because now if I built that one, so now I can get 1 material, 2 materials. Then we build a second machine theater. And now we get 2 materials every time we gain research from a card. Now I would love to play this Festival Hall, but if I do, then on my next turn I'm gonna have 5 food, which is scary. It's actually very scary. I think I'm not going to do that. But what we'll do is we'll play this Cabin of Curiosities. That'll give us more food. And we're just, I'm trying desperately to work against this, our food costs. I think I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. So the first thing I'd like to do is use this Conservatoire. Our research is like insane right now. We'll get some materials from playing these 0 cost cards. We can also get another material from playing this Benefits of Serenity. In fact, I think I would just do well to do that. Now we have tons of materials. We have tons of research as well, it must be said. I think maybe playing this silo, problem with the silo is that it's good in the short term. I was thinking if I played this, and then I would gain a little bit of food from, like, you know, this one would give me like 6 food plus 2 food from building next to that. We play this so we can build more things. I could build both these caravans, and that would give us some more food to kind of close the gap a bit. I'd like to use, I mean, I don't think we need to use this Faraday because, yeah, it gives us some materials, but honestly, exploring these ruins will probably give us more than that. Gain a scientific method card, +1, and +1 for each 2 scientific buildings adjacent to the Aero Station. Not really worth it, unfortunately. Study the structure is definitely better for us right now. Let's just re-roll. Honestly, we probably could make use of the second Conservatoire. Oh, there's another automated field. We could actually make use of that. So I'll lock this down. I almost shuffled it. That would have been bad. Transmutation Studio is actually sounding pretty good right now. Gain a touristic route card, +1 per wonder in your city. Actually also very good. We need more survivability though. Well, we got back up to 42. That's not bad at all. So I think the first thing we want to do, let's, you know, use our Conservatoire. I do want to use this automated field for sure. We don't actually need to play any material cards just yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plunk this one down here, and that'll give us 2 food per turn. Because it's already adjacent to 2 large fields. I could try and optimize that more, but I think that that's good enough, to be honest. And I don't want to get rid of the granaries. Like, the only way to do better would be to get rid of the granary, and I can't. Also, if you ever wondered, you can't get rid of these swamp tiles. There's nothing that lets you build over them, so they're just an obstacle. So we need to get rid of something. I just like to use these cards if I can. Honestly, having storage is really good. So these caravans are kind of paying their way, and it's not like we're hurting for space. So maybe I don't need to get rid of anything. Yeah, we don't need to get rid of anything. Let's use... kind of want to use this. Let's use this collective effort. That'll give us 3 materials. Activation. Getting another conservator is honestly very good. Let's just do that right now. And we can activate it right away. You can only activate cards once per turn, by the way, or buildings once per turn. I don't know if I ever said that, but it was probably pretty clear as I played. So that'll give us some more materials. I'll get 2 materials for getting 1 research. We could get this research and get this trade agreement. That'll give us, well, it only gives us 3 because it's only, oh, and then we can play the festival hall. We're doing pretty good for food right now, so let's do that. Build, gain a stroke of genius card. These are really actually quite good for us, so I'll go ahead and plunk that down. That also gives us 6 more food, so like, you know, we're really making the use of those granaries. I'm sorry, I'm sad I didn't get a card that lets me trash cards, because the those loot cards are really fattening up our deck for no good reason. Let's get these. The stroke of genius cards plus 2 research for 0 action cost is like really good. Then we'll spend some of that research, get some more research, spend some more of that research. Like, we're looking at 5 actions right now. I don't think a 3rd conservator is really gonna cut it. I don't think it's gonna do it, but we can place this large field. If I somehow come across another field, then I'll be able to make this automated field here pay 1 more production per turn. I think we need to start going through some of these ruins, but like, to what end, really? Let's get this investment here and get this investment here. This will give us a celebration. Oh yeah, People's Square, for sure. 100% worth it. Let's plunk it down here. We might actually place another festival hall in this game, which is kind of insane to me. And sure, let's do this ruined guy over here. Is that another ruined lighthouse? Whenever you build a building, plus 2 research. Oh my god. This 3rd conservator is actually starting to feel kind of tempting. But no. This barn is great though, because we can plunk that down like right here. We could get rid of this observatory. I don't think we need that 1 research storage. This is a good run, by the way. This is going very well. So we have another festival hall here. Let's go ahead and actually build that. We'll get this research. We'll plunk this barn down here. And then we could plunk this other barn down here. And now when we activate this conservator, it's going to give us 4 food. This other conservator is also going to give us 2 food. Very good run, like insanely good. Let's get rid of that observatory, because we could possibly put another activation building here, and then we'll get more food. Get more research. Why not? We're at 5 action points. So right now we are looking at 6 aquarium. And we will definitely activate that other one. My goodness. Just a really excellent run. Every time you all right, 3rd machine theater, why not? I could get more materials, but honestly, activating this ruin sounds better to me. Activation -2 material +1 research. That's hilarious. Let's just get passive science for the next 3 turns. The only negative thing about that is it means that the ruin has to sit there for 3 turns. So if you really care about the space, then that can be a bummer, but it generally isn't a bummer. Okay, so this celebrations card is going to give us +6 aquarium. That is also all of our action spaces. Oh my god, that almost completely ruined our game, to be honest. There was a chance there that that could have lost me the game. I am going to place this other conservator there. Do I really want that? Kind of no. If I use these festival halls, I will lose. So that's where we're at. Let's place a breakage. That'll give us a little bit of breathing room for food. Oh, I guess we can use this other conservatory. Oh, and that'll give us more food. My goodness, this is a wild run here. If I could build this observatory, that would be kind of great, but I'm just gonna build this 3rd conservatory because I'm insane. I can even use it on this turn. My goodness. We could destroy a building. Let's destroy this crate space building. I still don't really care. Wow, I can actually build the observatory. Why not? That's amazing. Okay, well, we win on the next turn. Unfortunately, I am wasting a lot of aquarium here, but this is like one of those runs where I just kind of want to push it to the limit and see how insane it can get. But I did just almost cost the run by doing that, so we're not going to do that. So I'm just going to hit the button. That's a win. This game is great. I'll talk a little bit about the meta progression. So here's what I mean by meta progression. It doesn't really have meta progression because there's really only just the one run. You don't maintain or keep upgrades the next time you start a game. And when I say when you start a game, I mean if you start a new game, you're going to start in this zone. I don't know if it's always called Alasta, but let's just say it's always called Alasta. You always start here. You always start here with no upgrades, no extra buildings. Let's talk about the extra cards and buildings. So I can buy these, and they'll be available in my roster in a new established city right away. Okay, and as well as these cards, they'll be available in my deck right away. I have a chance to draw these right away, and you can see, like, discovery card. I'm just gonna go ahead and buy that. I would love more discovery cards right away because that's just free research, right? It's free real estate. However, if I fail to establish a city, I believe it's 3 times or something like that. I don't know where it says this. I'm not sure where it says it, but I believe it's 3 times if I fail to establish a city, or maybe if I fail enough times to establish a city, then this overarching run is over, and then I start from scratch again. I lose all my upgrades, I lose all my cards, all my buildings, all of the things that I've upgraded. So it doesn't really have meta progression. It's got progression or upgrades between runs, but there is really just the one overarching run. I really like this. I think that it's a good way of doing things. It still checks a box for some people, I think, but for me, I still feel like I'm playing a game based on my own merits and skill and strategy, and not because I died enough time to get the zany zappy points, whatever. And I just really like this game. The first time I played this game, I thought that it was maybe too easy, and maybe there was the meta progression was not needed at all. I think it's there to kind of give yourself an overarching strategy, which I really like. I was proven wrong. The game actually slapped me down pretty hard because I wasn't taking it very seriously, and I wasn't understanding the full scope of the strategy. So now that I do understand the full scope of the strategy, I'm happy to cover this again and show you a bit more about what the deeper underlying moving parts look like. Anyway, this is Dawnmaker. I really like this game. I've said that enough times. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit the like button, consider subscribing for more content like this, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.